The storyline around the Toronto Maple Leafs, Elliotte Friedman, Auston Matthews out tonight. I tried to find out what was going on with the team. It seems pretty quiet down there. Is that what you were tapping about? Do you know if this is a significant injury, if Leafs fans should be worried? What's the latest on Matthews?
Well, here's what I can tell you, and it is a wall. There's no question about that. They're really trying to keep a lid on this. Here's the best information I can give you at this time. Number one, I don't think there is a fear that this is long-term. Sheldon Keefe is the clip you played, called it day-to-day, and I think that's the fairest way to describe it right now, but I don't get the sense there's worry that this is long-term. I know there's been a lot of discussion online about whether or not this is a lingering thing from the Jamie Benn cross-check at the beginning of the season. I don't believe that's the case. I think this is something that would affect his shooting, whether and I don't know the specific injury, Tim, but whether it's something that's like hand, wrist, finger, something like that. I think it's something that would be more affecting the shooting without pinning it down specific as opposed to anything like that. But the sense I get as I talk to you at 6:09 Eastern Time on Wednesday night is the belief is it isn't a long-term thing.
Okay, so the one thing that we heard yesterday was maintenance, and then we heard day-to-day today. That's hard to say, eh? Day-to-day today. Why would I even try and say that? Either way.
It's not that difficult.
I made Free choke on it. Like, I know you're battling a flu, so we appreciate it. We're battling the cold.
No, we've got it's a sinus infection.
Is it a sinus infection?
I'm not going into work infecting people on a daily
It's upper body.
It's an upper body.
It's
an upper body. Either way, I know you're battling through it, and I appreciate it. Is there any way that we have gotten to load management time in the National Hockey League? I mean, they're locked. It seems like they're locked into a 2-seed and/or a battle with Tampa in the first round, and we know he's had a few lingering injuries. I'm not suggesting there's not an injury. I'm just suggesting maybe the NHL is looking at this, or the Leafs are looking at this and saying, maybe we manage this load a little bit on Auston Matthews.
Tim, I think that's a great question. I don't think you'll ever see load management in the NHL at the same level as you do in the NBA,
no.
Simply because I think it's too tight to make the playoffs. I don't think I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. I think one of the things, Tim, though, I did wonder about is it's a back-to-back for Toronto. Tonight at home against Nashville, tomorrow night in Detroit. And I did wonder, this is my personal opinion, I did wonder about the possibility of that if they said, do we need to play him in back-to-back games? So I think that I can't give you a certain 100% answer, but I will say it because of how quiet they're being about this, but I will say that did cross my mind and it makes some sense.
Timing's good. I mean, the timing makes sense. And if you look at Matthews all year, you can tell something's, something's a little different than
He's not right. He's not. There were times this year he wasn't taking one-timers. There were times this year he was fumbling pucks. There were times this year he was missing the net more than normal. We all know how talented a guy he is. This doesn't happen without some kind of reason, Ken. You're right.
All right, Elliotte, I have a big question for you right now. Are the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs the same team right now with the same issues and the same needs? What's the difference between the Oilers and the Leafs right now?
I think the difference between the Oilers and the Leafs is well, it's points, and there's a reason there's a difference in points. When the Maple Leafs looked like they were really on the ropes, like don't go back to the first month of the season, Ken. You were calling your the guys you hang out and smoke cigars with, the Rogers board, and you were demanding changes. And I think we all thought that was going to happen. The Maple Leafs the first month in the season, we thought everybody was getting fired. And they righted themselves. And they righted themselves despite the fact they had a lot of injuries on the blue line. And you forget, they were down to their third and fourth options in goal. But the team said, we got to play a certain way, and they did. And Edmonton, they still have, like last year in the second half of the season, Edmonton changed the way they played. And they went on a huge run at the end of the year, solidifying their playoff spot. They have not returned yet to that style of playing. They're a little bit loose. They're too runny and gunny. And, that's the difference, I think, between Toronto and Edmonton right now. I know that everybody looks at the Maple Leafs blue line and says they need that Muzzin type, and they may do that. They may go out and do that. it's something they have considered. I think Edmonton is also looking at the same thing. I think at some point in time, they will trade for a defenseman here. I absolutely believe that. I think they're trying to avoid making a terrible mistake in terms of the type of trade they do make. And I think the other thing they're talking about, Ken, is they need a defenseman who can be heavy, yes, but I believe they've also determined that that defenseman has to be somebody who can make plays. Is not just a bang the glass and out kind of person. So I think between the price they're going to have to pay and the style of the player they want, they want to make sure they make the right move.